frantically running around and you can't even sit down for a second to join their meal, right? So if you set an example and you just tell him, it's okay. See, we will do this for 15 minutes, right? Doing something non-cerebral will actually be more helpful. For the older child, I guess you have to find out a way of maybe probably even talking or not stalking her, okay, through the iPad, because she said she's always on that medium. So try to go to their level of understanding. I make it sound easy again, but it's not. It's really very challenging. What you should remember is your husband and the uncles and the aunties have all to be on the same page. So no good cop, bad cop. You don't get mad at a child and they run to a rescue person who will feed into that behavior again, because it's a family effort. So it's not yet late, but you have to do something about it now, I guess, to be able to get your child out of that rat race that he is compelled to do. Imagine an 8-year-old, you said? 9-year-old who doesn't know how to relax, di ba? Wala pa siyang high school and college. Di pa siya magme-medicine or law. Di ba? Stressed out na siya bago siya dumating doon. So, make an active, an action between you and your husband so that you can encourage him to be okay even if he's bored.
Good afternoon, Doctor. My name is Xavier. I'm actually from the other school, from the Sala, but my wife is from the Ateneo. That's why I'm here. And my question is, we have a son who's grade 6, and one of our problems with him is he is on the sensitive side. And also, what can you suggest in order to modify his behavior to be less sensitive, and is also on the impatient side?
How many children do you have?
We have 2 children.
He's the older.
He's the older one, yes.
Of 2, the second one is another boy, right?
Yeah, another boy is 7 years old. Right now he is 10 years old. Yes, and another thing, he is also lacks empathy.
Lacks empathy?
Yes.
So he has aggressive behavior? Will he like blow up?
No, he doesn't blow up.
But he's already sensitive that
he doesn't help his brother when he needs help, things like that.
Okay, like I mentioned,
he is a little bit self-centered.
It's all about him.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so again, we have 2 kids, both boys, so they'll be opposites with the other. So somehow, probably you tend to compare with the younger one, who's all nice and doing good in school and everything. Tama ba? I didn't. Okay, but again, they will be opposite. And what we need to know lang is not to compare 2 boys. Probably to be more open to his feelings and to address it. Like they say, if a child, and you're saying, see, there's no one fix-it-all bill for everyone. Like, we have to see it in the context of who else is in the home. Is it just both of you, your parents, your in-laws, a yaya who is overbearing, answers to all the needs of this child? So maybe you have to cut that out, right? The strings. Or you have good cop, bad cop, like I said. Mom will get mad at him. You will say, oh, no, it's alright, come here. So ikaw yung rescue person. So if we have to be on the same page in telling them what to do, and we have to stay away from saying, you're the kuya, you have to help the younger one. I know how it feels because I'm the kuya. And it really feels bad na parang all the responsibility is on you to make sure your sibling is doing this. What if you have 10 siblings? Diba? The burden is too great. Buti kung 1 lang or 2, but then you will hate that child who's not reading, who's not probably doing well in school because sa'yo ang pinasa yung responsibility. So I have no quick fix answer to that. We need to know the dynamics, what makes him sad. Probably he was traumatized when he was younger, so he has so much fears and anxiety. There's actually a severe anxiety disorder for children, okay, that starts so early in life. And I think that's why our profession, developmental and behavioral pediatricians, are so much in demand, because a family won't like to go to a psychiatrist right away. So we're the buffers, because we don't readily have to give you medication if it's not needed. Again, I qualify that, because for children with ADHD, for example, we do not diagnose ADHD right away. Symptoms have to be present both at home and in school. And I remember, Father Kit, when you made me lecture to the teachers, right? Grade school then, that we need a questionnaire answered by teachers because sometimes they're different in school, they're different at home. If in school he is rowdy and all of that, then he's quiet at home, there's something wrong there. But if he's quiet in both, then probably it's a pervading thing for him and it has to be addressed. Also, we tell them that the symptoms of ADHD should be present for more than 6 months. Because like, if the parents separated, if Lolo died, a pet died, Yaya left, you moved houses, you moved schools, you're expected to act out a few months. It's just like dealing with death. You're allowed 6 months to grieve, and yet it's not enough for us when we have a person who dies in our family, right? So, same with children. We only give, if for example, magulo sa house, tahimik sa school, then there's something wrong with the disciplining in the house. Because in school, they know about the authority they'll follow. But if mabait sa home, sa school nagwawala, maybe it's a misfit. Maybe it's not the type of schooling that's fit for that child. He might want to have a smaller classroom size. But I would always tell parents, you don't want to be the teacher of 30 ADHD boys. So they don't need to be in special school unless they have some learning disabilities. Because the sad part here is ADHD doesn't happen alone. There are concomitant comorbidities like learning disability. You can be intelligent and have ADHD because you finish your lessons fast. What else will you do? So teachers might get mad at you for standing up and looking at the paper of the others. You're not cheating. It's just that you're done. What am I going to do? I'm grade 1. I need to move around. So I guess that's why it goes back to play. You have to make them play, get them out into the field, get him into something of interest, whether it's theater, violin, something that will encourage his social skills so that it will be developed. Because he's now 10, you said? See, he's also coming into the adolescent age, where when hormones start coming, diba? There's real pain in the growth spurt when your bones are pulled apart, plus the hormonal changes. Diba? That's why the girls have their menarche, same with the boys. So they don't understand all these feelings. But if it has been consistent since childhood, then there's something you have to check along the way which may have contributed to that.
Hi, I'm Denise Villa Senior, graduated college 2010. I'm an early childhood special education teacher. My question is, so now parents are actually very busy. You know, they work from morning till night till late, and most of the children are left with caregivers. Most of the time, the parents give caregivers, you know, the liberty to just let the children keep busy, and chances are they're left with, you know, how the caregivers feel children will be kept busy. How do you mentioned also that collaborating with parents is important. So how do you collaborate with parents who are busy or have very busy schedules and their frontliners are the caregivers?
I make it a rule in my clinic that I won't see a child if not accompanied by either parent, unless both parents are not here. Because if I'm talking to the yaya or to the driver, go worse, parang what will they have to tell me that might be lost in translation when I'm giving them some advice. Your problem is real. Maybe we have to ask them to come to school, or if you make that extra effort to go to them, just to initiate that first contact, I think will be important. Especially if you have something of importance to tell them about the child. I think it's okay if there's no problem with the child, but if you sense there's something you have to let them know, it's either you talk to them personally if they won't come face to face with you and say, Yaya, I can't do this until I talk to your mom or so. Because you have to establish that first connection. I'm sure parents are scared to be called by the teachers, right? We fear, you don't want to hear there's something wrong. Parang ano, tatawagin ka na naman ng principal, parang what did you get yourself involved with? Right? So, be gentle in the approach, I say, and then you can say, I just have a few concerns with your child, which may be solved if we talk to each other. So, I think you have to make that extra effort.
Right, Eunice Gan, college 97. You talk about play. The thing is, most people now live in condominiums and are actually afraid of getting their kids out there because it's dangerous and all that. So what kind of play would you recommend?
depending again on the age of the child. Like for a younger child, you know that the best play area, even if you feel it's unsafe, is the kitchen. Why? While you're preparing a meal, your child is making takal, the water, whatever, you're teaching them math already. If you're going to bake something, they're doing fine motor skills like kneading the dough and everything, and they're helping you out. And you don't know what joy it is for a child to be with mommy or daddy doing something together. So it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to buy expensive toys. In fact, your children will like the inexpensive toys, correct? Because they have so much toys, I can start a therapy center in your homes, in each respective homes of yours, right? A balloon, you're seated and you're just throwing it in the air. You lose 100 calories already by doing that for 15 minutes. You can have like a fan or probably a frisbee that you will push that balloon, not the frisbee, okay, you hit each other in a small space. But you know what I mean? Parang you have like a tennis thing, put something hard there and then a fan probably. And then that's very, what do you call this? Inexpensive and can be in a limited space. We also have to be creative with what kind of play that you can do. You have the hula hoop that you can play with, right? And you can exercise and lose calories again. You can make them go up and down the stairs. Like you can say, there's this game, land, sea, air or something. Did you hear about that? I just heard about it one time. Land, they're on step 1, then on step 2, it's this. If you say it's a condo, go to the fire exit, you want to do that. And then like you just say land, and then this is sea, then that's air. Then you say all of the above, so they have to keep running up. Something like that. Carrying groceries will actually make them more active. Because again, we are producing also obese children. What their weight is, by 2, by 4 years old, determines their weight when they're older. So I must have been a heavy child. Also keeping them in front of the TV, okay? And did you know that below 8 years old, they don't know the difference between a sales pitch and what's something? That's why if you bring a child to the supermarket, you will end up spending more if you brought your child below 8. They'll point at every conceivable thing they saw on TV. Right? So solution, don't bring the child to the supermarket if you don't want to spend more. There are many things, there are many creative things that you can do depending on the age of your child and make them move. The secret here is they have to be in constant motion probably so that they're so tired, they know it's time to go to bed by 8 o'clock. How many of your children go to bed at 8 or 9? But the others 10, 11, 12? Okay, so they shouldn't be sleeping that time. And you have to get the gadgets an hour or 30 minutes before going to bed. Homework, okay, but get it done sooner or wake up earlier. Diba? Kasi you have to set, I know, see, that's why homework, the solution, no homework, but you have to talk to the teachers about that, right?
Good afternoon, Dr. Dimalanta. I'm Polly Penayo from the Ateneo Junior High School. I'm one of the counselors there. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot. I'm just waiting for my son actually to come back from school from an activity, but I really signed up for this because I want also to find out how we can help the hurried children who are also at what could be students at risk. If possible, if there could be a next talk, how can we help address or first identify and address the needs of the students at risk? We are handling children from the age of 11 to about 15 years old, 14, around that age. And we'd like to help them at this stage that, as you said a while ago, hormones are raging, etc. And how to prepare and help them for senior high school as well, which can still cover the age of childhood of about 17, 18. So Father, the request for the next talk about student at risk also in relation to the syndrome of the hurried child. Thank you, Father. Thank you.
And I think now another concern of yours is there are girls now, right?
For the senior
For the senior year. So that's entirely a new ball game for all those who were used to be with boys. And for those girls too.
Doctor, actually, I placed your name in one of our professionals because I heard you also when I was in the grade school. I came from the grade school, the Child Development Center also, Father. Doctor. So if the parents would ask also for professionals, doctors, developmental pediatricians, we give them a list, but we tell them this list is not limited to these professionals, but they may be of help to you. They said lining up for a session with a developmental pediatrician is really difficult to have. So aside from you, Dr. Dimalanta, other professionals also who may be able to help us and the parents as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Because not only as the developmental pediatricians, we're now 54 for our country of 110 million. We have psychologists, we have school counselors which we partner with, and it's always an interdisciplinary approach. We need to talk to the family, to get the help of counselors, depending on the need of your child, the teachers. So it's critical for us to work as a team, not just by ourselves. And I think, yes, if we work together, we'll be able to achieve more.
I'm Solvi Nubla, batch 97. You mentioned that the connections that are made in the brain are more or less developed over the first 6 years. But I heard that also when I went to a preschool fair. But what are these IQ connections or are these EQ connections? Because of course that was a preschool fair and they were mostly selling, of course, the idea that we send our kids to their preschool. But are there things within the first 6 years that we can focus more on to develop, let's say, their resiliency or their independence? I'm not too sure.
The connections are the real brain connections because ADHD, autism are all neurological, brain-based. So it's a real thing which we do not imagine. But what I'm saying is like the concept of you either use it or you lose it. So it's more of not the number of synapses because we're born with trillions, okay, and it develops over these years. And it's by using them that we make more connections so that a child can be more resilient, a child can pursue this, because you will remember what you are exposed to more often than those that are not. So for example, the area of that brain that has not been stimulated, let's say music, you didn't do anything about it during your first 6 years, that might be something that didn't connect well now. Okay, so it's more of the foundation, the structure that we are concerned about during the formative years of brain development. So even whatever the mother takes before birth, now we're talking about the first 1,000 days, including that pre-natal period, will affect the child. That's why the mother's health and well-being is most important for a child's good development.
I just have one more question, hopefully. I have twin toddlers. They're my first and probably only children. I just wanted to check because now they're sort of like a tag team. No? So when we send them to
Two boys, two girls.
Two girls. They're two girls. They're almost 3 in October. So right now they're like, when we send them to music class, syempre, they're always together. We send them to wherever together. Is that a good idea moving forward? Or we tried a preschool over the summer. And one, obviously, because of the stock now, seemed ready because she was okay to go alone. The other one, was a little clingy. So I'm not so sure if I should have not sent her or moving forward. The other one is sort of ready for more play school and the other should just be more with me. I'm not so sure.
I think you answered your own question, right? The child that's ready, let's push. The other one, let's take care a bit more. And then there will be a time when you have to separate them so that they'll have their own identities. Remember co-sleeping? There's a Dr. Farber who said that you make your child cry until they lose their voice. But I told him that culturally, Filipinos, Chinese, the Asians sleep with their parents until 40 years old. So what I just tell them is that you give them 2 separate beds. They can be in the same room, or if they're in just one bed, 2 separate blankets by the age of 4, 5, 6, probably. So that again, they'll develop their own individuality. Because one might be attaching, even with the older and younger child, if you have 2 age group children, diba? Idol nila yung older one, so susunod-sunod sila. A child may not read because the other one finishes off the sentences of the other child. So it's best even for twins to be in separate sections, if pwede, Diba? And then, not saying separate school, but
They ask us, like, you say, what about me? Like, we'll say, okay, Sophie will go to the school, I'll stay home because I'm just, but what about me? I want to go, but when they're there,
that's right. So parang you can tell them, see, in school you didn't do this, so we'll end up doing this. Then maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, parang it's like make it something to motivate the younger one or the other one. You can also do that provided you get all these skills first so that you're not setting them up for failure. So practice the writing and all, but not their names, they're only 3. So just drawing the shapes, square, circle, square, triangle, getting them to bed and making them eat by themselves. Okay, no more bottle. Do they have the bottle? No more. We take out the bottle by 2. Okay, some children come to me at 5, at 8, they're still on the bottle. Okay, but that's why it's so hard to wean them. That's why we have picky eaters. And there's no TV, toys, books while eating. Okay, kasi some will have something there and they're feeding. So you have more difficulties. So for a start, make sure you ask them, are you a baby or big girl? They just say, big girl. Okay, the doctor said a while ago, no more bottle.
Okay.
So they'll follow that, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Mama.
Good afternoon, I am Cesar Gomez, College 73. Number of things I just want to share. I'm with Christian Meditation, and I'd like to propose the possibility of meditation and mindfulness as to help in the Hurried child. I'm with Christian Meditation. I used to be coordinator in the Philippines, and we are offering Christian meditation for children. I also happen to be the father of twin daughters. They're now 34 years old.
30 years to go.
When I learned that, my wife and I learned, I forget with the word, sorry. When my wife and I learned that we would be having twins, we're saying, sino may kasalanan, no? It turned out both sides pala had twins. And when I learned that I'd be a father of twins, I bought 10 books on child rearing. Hindi ko natapos yun, siguro 2 natapos ko. But what struck me is the importance of having separate identities. So, this was to share. But the meditation and mindfulness is what I'd like to bring up as a possibility. I don't know if, I know Hani Karandan already is promoting it, but I don't know where you stand on that.
I'm thankful that you said that because this whole thing about mindfulness and starting classes with it, just 5 minutes. So if maybe the teachers in the preschool, in your grade school and high school can learn that. And it's just a short thing that you do at the start of class. It might set the difference, okay? Because mindfulness is being aware of the person next to you who woke up on the wrong side of the bed, then everybody is brought into this state, correct me or if I'm wrong, na parang meditative, that they'll be quiet for the first 5 minutes to feel how everybody is feeling, and then makes you empathize more there. So I think that may also be a solution for you. And I hope there's many more of you, sir, so that we can avail of that free service. Or you have to give up, remember? Give back.
Mindfulness, okay, it's heavy in the Buddhist and Hindu, but mindfulness is also in the Christian tradition. Scripturally, theologically, philosophically, historically, mindfulness is in the Christian tradition. But there's also meditation and mindfulness in a purely secular setting. There's a Google guy who already wrote a book, Search Inside Yourself. And in fact, he's been giving it out in these big corporations. So either you want it from a spiritual or religious, which I'm coming from a Christian setting, or purely secular, there are already these sources.
Are they expensive, sir?
No.
You can take it and download that, something like that?
Well, the book, I have a number for the Christian, but the Search Inside Yourself, I think, is by the Google guy. You can buy it. I bought it in National, but I don't know if they have it now. So it's been there for, I think, 3 or 4 years.
I guess moving forward, it's something that teachers, counselors can look into so that you have a uniform way of doing it, knowing the principles. And I think that's one solution that we've identified now and can look into.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Before you go, we can ask you to fill up an evaluation form, and let's have a photo op with Dr. Dimalanta. Kanina in the introduction, I mentioned that he has a series of thoughts about that today's child. So if he agrees, if and when agrees, we might want to invite him again. So let us please give him a big hand. Evaluation sheets are distributed. You can kindly fill them out. There are donation boxes outside if you're kind enough to donate there. So thank you very much.